Hi everyone, good evening. It's 8 p.m. right now in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and we're here at FutureLab's office. My name is Allan from AirAsia. I'll share more about myself shortly and introduce myself. Just want to give a shout out and thank you to FutureLab for inviting AirAsia over here to share more about what does it take to be an Allstar. So let's move over to the slides. Over to the slides. Okay, welcome everyone. There are a few guests who came as well. I know some of you might be stuck in traffic, but thanks for coming all the way here on a late evening today at 8 p.m. I'd like to share today about AirAsia. What does it take to be an Allstar? A bit about myself. I'm now on my 4th year in AirAsia, doing Allstars engagement and internal branding. It's actually my 6th portfolio, believe it or not. I even lost track. Before I joined AirAsia, just a bit about myself. I was actually in the paintball industry, doing, not sure if you all know paintball. The guys over here know what's paintball? It's like the shooting game, yeah? So I was doing that for 10 years, import-export business, as well as events in the paintball world. And one day, actually, Tony Fernandez, the man himself, the co-founder of AirAsia, came over to our store and he bought some stuff. And after that, that was it. He took part in some of our events as well. And 2 years later, the paintball scene died down. The business was not doing well because of strict government regulations. And I decided to leave the paintball world. And after that, some of my friends suggested, why don't you email Tony? Maybe there's a job in AirAsia. That time they had about 16,000 Allstars. And I decided to email Tony. And guess what? He replied within 7 minutes. That's fast. And he asked me, is this Allan from paintball? I'm like, yes. He even remembers me after 2 years. And I went for the interviews and got into AirAsia. I was started off in ancillary income, you know, those pricings you see on the website, the hot meals, the baggage, and the insurance. So I was the guy controlling the pricing, so I can't do any mistakes. If not, it'd be bad for the company. And after doing that for 6 months, I went to do regional marketing in Philippines, Manila. I was based there for 6 months. And after that, another 6 months in Bangalore, India, helping out the regional marketing as well. And after that, transferred back to KL for 2 years in partnership and business development, doing partnerships with big companies and startups like Uber and such. After 2 years there, my 5th portfolio was group corporate culture. I was helping out for about 4 to 5 months. And now, Allstars engagement and internal branding. So right now, my role is to make sure our 22,000 Allstars, we call them Allstars, because in AirAsia, we don't want them to be known as staff or employees. And my role now is to make sure everyone tries to wear the red cap, like I'm wearing right now, or even tries to promote AirAsia on social media. Okay, enough about myself. To the founders. Let's go next slide. Oops. Next slide, moving. Sorry, hang on a second. Okay, look at these two gentlemen over here. AirAsia's co-founders, Dato Kamarudin Meranon and Tan Sri Dr. Tony Fernandez. Well, he actually likes to be known as Tony Fernandez without the Tan Sri Doctor to our Allstars. So back then, when Tony was around, a teenage boy in Epsom College in the United Kingdom, something sad happened. His mom passed away when the mom was in Malaysia, but he was in United Kingdom. So he couldn't go back because the airfares was crazy back then, easily 10 to 20,000 ringgit. And he told himself, one day, I'm going to start my own airline and call it, and make sure that everyone can fly. So when he came out to work in his first job, he actually failed the interview in Virgin. But as he walked out the door, he bumped into Richard Branson. And Richard asked him out for coffee. And then on, he started working in Virgin TV as financial controller, and after that got transferred back to KL, Malaysia, his home base, handling Warner Music. That's when he entered the music world. He had a high position at a very young age, but he was really blessed and met a lot of great people along the way. And one of them was Dato' Kamarudin Maranun, who was from the music scene. They became best of friends, and Tony decided to leave the music industry when he realized he was not catching up with technology. That time, you got Napster coming up, a lot of piracy, the Pasar Malam, the night markets were selling fake DVDs for 5 ringgit and such. So he told himself he saw the future. It's not good for the music scene, and the music industry didn't want to adapt. It's going to be like a Kodak or Nokia moment per se. So he left. And he met up with Dato' Kamarudin Maranun and said, hey, let's start an airline. And the long story short, they did it with a lot of good friends and help along the way. People say they were crazy. Back then, it's going to happen like there was 9/11, SARS. People say Asia's going to go bankrupt. We started with 2 planes and 200 scared Allstars back then. And right now, we have 22,000 Allstars. And not only 2 planes, we have over 200 aircraft flying now around the region, and up to 600 in order total by Airbus. So yeah, why I'm sharing all this is because you want to know a bit about the DNA of AirAsia before I go into more detail about what is it like to be an Allstar. Because the DNA of Asia started from these 2 co-founders who were crazy enough to do things that people say is not possible and to dream the unbelievable. Okay. Now I share about RedQ, the place where I work at. It's Asia's global headquarters. In fact, this is our first ever building after 16 years. Asia is now 16 years old, and previously we were actually renting from Malaysia airports back in the old LCCT. Right now we have our own building, 6 floors, and it's located right next to KLIA2 Airport. Such a beautiful building right there. This is the front of it. I'll just take you through a short trip, a short tour, if you may call it. This is how it looks like inside. Wow, really big, impressive. To those who are here today at FutureLab's office, if you get a chance one day to tour, I don't mind taking you guys on a tour since you came all the way here today. And some people, when they saw the pictures, they're like, whoa. When they get there, this is like Google. You take that as a compliment. And it's very open space concept. There's no like doors for the bosses and all that kind of thing. You know, like some other companies, you have bosses, you need to go through their secretary and stuff like that. Over here, you can walk up to the CEO, no problem. It's all very flat organization. Okay, on the left there, you got Tony and Dato' Din, just doing a photo shoot at the beanbags. And over there, that's actually how we conduct some of our meetings, just in case if there's not enough room or you want a chill out area. So we have beanbags. Over here is our cafeteria. We have both local and Western food. Sometimes we have Japanese, Korean, or even our local dishes. Okay, this if you're feeling healthy, we have a salad counter over there. And we even have our own Tea & Co. It's our own coffee brand, which we can buy in flight when you're flying on AirAsia. And if you feel like getting a haircut, wow, we just opened a salon in our RedQ office. And this just came in. This is really interesting. It's a slide, a giant slide that a human can fit in. We posted in social media recently, and there was feedback that people thought, no, there's no way in Asia. This must be somewhere in the US or something, in Google perhaps. Well, we take it as a compliment actually. I haven't tried it out myself. I hope to one day. Don't get stuck. And this is our cafeteria. That's where we eat our lunch. We get an allowance of 10 ringgit each day. Yep, you can have all the coffee or snacks you want. This is one of our pantries. We have it at every level. Oh, okay, this is Irene Omar. What you're seeing now is our boardroom. That's where we have our board meetings. And that's Irene Omar, CEO of Asia, Berhad, just doing a photo shoot. We actually call it the Millennium Falcon, theme inspired by Star Wars, because the whole room looks like a Millennium Falcon. So that's Irene being a Jedi, perhaps. Here's a closer view. And another look at the Millennium Falcon building. A room. So this is where we have our conferences and con calls for the board meetings. Over here, this is the Tokyo room. Check that out. It's like a anime, right? This Seoul room in Korea. It's a Manila room. Looks like in the Philippines. The jeepney, and this is the Sydney room. You have the surfer board over there as the table. This is Jakarta room, ASEAN room 1 and 2, and Jim Rattery room. This inspired Bali room. If you feel like going Bali, you can go to this room. And this is even Hong Kong room. This is a Gold Coast room. Outside, how it looks like, colorful. Okay, in AirAsia, we even have yoga classes, boot camp if you're feeling healthy, or even Zumba classes. We even have professional Zumba instructors who are also our Allstars, and they actually train us. Maybe one day we'll have dancing classes as well. Okay, this is the dog queue. So in AirAsia, when we were building up this building, there were 4 puppies, the stray puppies that were part of this setup during construction site. And when we finished building, they were still there. So Tony decided to adopt them. He likes dogs as well. So when we ended up adopting them, and we did even a nice kennel for them, it went viral among all the pet lovers. And we even have a community to take care of them. And at one time, we even had cats. This was done recently by our green team. We have our Allstars Go Green campaign because we believe in using less plastic and making sure the environment is clean. And we are also encouraged to bring our own paper bags when we go to the office. So we actually had a big movie night at the office. Close to 100 Allstars were there. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's like a big, one big family, yeah? Not just about work. So those were the fun stuff. This is even the cool stuff. As you know, AirAsia is moving towards a digital airline. And recently we brought in some experts in different technology fields to open up our eyes and also for us to explore different ways to use technology. This is emotive. You wear this device and you can actually track your brain scans using EEG. So our Allstars get to try it. These are latest technology in the market. And over here, robotics. This just happened today as we speak. Happening today and tomorrow. It's like we're going to find a way to use robots in our systems, maybe, in our workflow. We even have facial recognition features in our office that we are beta testing right now. So AirAsia is not just a normal airline. We are moving towards digital and e-commerce, as you may have read from the recent reports in the news. And we have more than 20 different job positions. Not when people think AirAsia or airlines, they keep thinking about cabin crew or pilots or just flight attendants. But it's actually more than that, because everyone right now is moving towards the tech sector. So, okay, this is the part where you might want to pay attention the most. AirAsia's core values. To be straight up, not many have seen this yet out in the market right now. You guys who are watching right now are probably one of the first in the world. This is still internal. We're rolling out in phases. And this is hot, fresh from the oven. These are our core 6 values. If you have this, high chance, most likely you can join AirAsia. Because when you go for an interview with our HR, let's say if everyone has the same skill set, you get a degree, the other guy has a degree as well, or the other girl has a degree. So what makes you stand out from the rest? This is the secret sauce, our 6 core values. Number 1, make it happen. Yeah, there you go. In AirAsia, you cannot be the type that when the person asks you to push the ball, then only you start pushing, and then you stop. And then someone got to say number 2, then only you move. In AirAsia, you got to move fast, move quick. You got to be agile. You got to think like a guest. Don't only think about yourself, you got to think what the guest feels as well. And you have to act like an owner. when you act like an owner, then you take ownership of projects. You don't leave it to chance, or don't leave things in without a checklist, you know. And also about pushing boundaries. Azure is about being different. We're not a regular legacy airline carrier, and as Tony always say, we're like one big giant startup, and that's how we're going to be in a long time and all the time, because we need to keep on innovating and progress in this field. We don't want to be left behind with technology, and that's why if you notice, even on Tony's Facebook, he constantly travels to the States, to Europe, to check out what's the latest technology in Silicon Valley and such. Okay. Another one is also challenge convention. When you work in AirAsia, there's no such thing as it's always been done this way. There's always a better way to innovate, and over here we encourage our Allstars to find different ways to do things if it means saving costs, but without compromising on safety. Yeah. So if for some reason you find a better way to improve something in AirAsia when you work here, please do recommend. Our communication channels are very flat and open. We have this platform called Workplace. It's by Facebook. It's open channel to all 22,000 of us. And when we want to voice something, we can voice it, and all 22,000 of your colleagues can see it as well. Even the bosses. Even Tony Fernandez and Dato Kamarudin Maranon, they are very on the ball. They see something on social media that's not right, they will highlight to us. Or we see something that's not right, we can highlight to them. No problem. The second one, after make it happen, the next one would be do it right. In Asia, it's about doing the right thing. If someone asks you to do something and not sure, and if the person says, we don't say things like, oh, because boss said so. No such thing. We always have to explain ourselves to justify. So ask why before working out how. So if you're not sure about something when you're doing in Asia, you have the right to ask. And it's always about safety first, making sure that guest safety is a top priority, as well as in the office environment. Take smart risks and always have high quality with low cost. Just an example. Imagine all our cabin crew. If there's a spilled milk on board, we can maybe choose to use 20 pieces of tissue paper or 5 pieces, which does the same job. If you don't care about the company, you end up using 20 or even 30. Just keep on using, which equals to cost. Imagine all 22,000 of us think that way. There's a big cost there. So Azure, we always encourage our Allstars to attack costs. So even our copy machines is all regulated. We have a certain amount to use a day. And even for our cabin crew, we encourage them not to overuse items that you don't need to. Yeah. So that's how we save costs. And it's very important because when the going gets tough, especially in the economic world right now, or if the oil prices shoot up, we are all covered because we maintain a lowest cost. We're actually one of the lowest cost airlines in the region in terms of cost. Next, more with less. So in Azure, we try not to have too many meetings. We prioritize what we need to do. We don't waste too much time doing unnecessary work if you don't have to. And to simplify processes. This is very important. Why? Because right now we're actually growing. We just launched Japan a few weeks ago, and we even have China coming up one day. And when it gets so big, you need to simplify the process as much as possible. So we actually have this campaign called One AirAsia, whereby even though you might be from Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, India, we all speak and follow the same processes. Yeah. So we always encourage our Allstars to do more with less. Doesn't mean that you end up doing more means it's better for the business. So we try to cut down on processes as long as it doesn't affect our safety regulations. After more with less, put people first. Okay, in Asia, we always respect our Allstars. We treat them like family. Listen in order to understand. So this is very important nowadays with everyone on their smartphones and not listening as much as they should. So we always encourage our Allstars to listen and grow your people. See, even for me, when I was in AirAsia, I was under this boss of mine, but I call him more like a mentor and friend. He actually grew me to where I am today. I was an executive back then, and he grew me up to be a team lead. If I don't mind sharing, his name is Matthew Mock. He did a really great job in growing people, and I love this kind of culture. It's my 4th year. It's actually my first company, and I believe even whichever company you go, make sure that company grows you. And in AirAsia, we do that. We have trainings for our Allstars to, even if you're not quite good in doing PowerPoint presentations, we even have classes for that, or even for public speaking perhaps, or even for doing IT or digital stuff. So we always have room for improvement to grow. We always encourage our Allstars to do that. And this one is one of the most important: treat people with respect. Nowadays, you see people posting on social media, they don't like their boss, or they got into an argument with a colleague, and then they use all sorts of swear words. In Asia, we do not encourage that. So if you don't agree with someone, you can agree to disagree, and you can take 5-minute break, something like that, or cool down and then come back to the subject matter. So we try not to let our emotions get in the way of things when we have our discussions. Next, all for one. Back then we got this saying, all for one and one for all. So we are a tight-knit group, even though we have 22,000 of us, as long as you're wearing that lanyard, the Allstars lanyard. We respect each other, and we work with each other for the greater good. Just imagine you are on the plane and you're disembarking, and the cabin crew needs extra help. Our engineers actually go and help them, even to push the wheelchair, even if it's not their job function. Even the pilots, they do that too. But of course, we don't really show this on social media, but we see it even on workplace when they share it among ourselves. Even though it's not your job, but we help out one another. Even for me, or any of our Allstars from the office, if we are on the plane and if any of our cabin crew needs assistance, we will help where applicable. And this also applies even in the office. Even if it's not your job, in AirAsia, we encourage everyone to help each other out where possible. Because, don't get me wrong, in AirAsia, actually one person does about 2 to 3% job. That's how we stay low cost and always dynamic. Yeah, there were some people who join AirAsia and they think they're only going to do one job for the rest of their life, but it's not true. We got to multitask, in today's environment, and stay on course. Yep. Now everyone can fly. So the dream of joining AirAsia is you get to be part of this dream that enables everyone to fly. Back then, price tickets were thousands of dollars, and the normal person who has never flown before doesn't get a chance to fly. In AirAsia, I'm happy to share that when you join this company, you actually get to be part of this dream. In fact, there are many people who are first-timers flying that fly on AirAsia, especially those from the 2nd or 3rd tier cities. Yeah. So along the way, dare to dream. If you have dreams to become, who knows, a CEO or even a pilot one day, go for that dream. We have this Allstar. His name is Kugan. He went viral recently because he started off as a dispatch rider in AirAsia, and he actually went more than 10 exams to become a pilot. He took 1 year, fail, 1 year, fail. Up to 7 years, he tried to be a pilot. In AirAsia, we actually encourage you to go for your dreams. And Tony told him, don't give up. And he's now a pilot right now as we speak. Yeah, and he's giving motivational talks to our Allstars. And he's really one of a kind. So in AirAsia, we encourage that, In other companies, you might not get that such an opportunity to go for your dreams. Example, if you're doing this role, they might not allow you to move around. But in AirAsia, we allow the Allstars to actually interchange departments. And look at me, I'm on my 6th portfolio, man, after 4 years. Yeah, and it's very rare. So I'm very thankful for that. And I hope this will be able to help you if you go to AirAsia for an interview. You must be always open and dynamic, willing to change. You have to be also patient. There were cases of people who joined and they realized, I joined to do A, but now I'm doing B. But they don't realize that it's just like a transition period or it's part of a learning process. So in Asia, you got to be adaptable and willing to change and be very dynamic. If you come into Asia and just say you want to do A for the rest of your life, it doesn't work here that way. It might not be a suitable fit. So be very dynamic and willing to change. That's one of the advice I can give. Okay, this is a summary of the Allstar values. Make it happen, do it right, more with less, put people first, all for one. Everyone can fly. So that is my short presentation about our Allstars values, and open up the floor to questions. Is there any questions on Facebook right now, or any questions for those who came all the way, since you all are here? I'll just show back the first slide. Sorry about that. Yep. Any questions? Open the floor. Zulfatli. Okay, question on the floor here. How's the normal interview process like? Is it the common questions you see, or is it different? So over here, we are quite open. Usually we'll ask you about, tell me more about yourself. So you should be able to articulate in a way that you feel comfortable in. Because in Asia, we want everyone to be themselves. If you get a chance, if you notice, everyone is free to wear what they want. There's no such thing as wearing ties on a daily basis. You don't have to wear a coat or a jacket. It's you can wear jeans and even a t-shirt if you want. So the first part will ask you about, tell us more about yourself. And the second part usually we'll ask is, what do you do in your previous roles in your company, your previous company? And we also ask, why do you want to join AirAsia? And we also ask if you're open to be a multitasker. That's very important, because if you're not, then it might not be a suitable fit to join. Yeah, because there's a lot of switching around going on. Today you might be doing this, but tomorrow you might be asked to help out at another project or scope. Yeah, and we always give opportunity to our Allstars to learn and develop themselves, because as you know, the saying goes between the CEO and CFO, right? CFO goes, what if we keep our talent and we save money by not growing them, you know, to go for classes and stuff like that, or courses. And the CEO goes, what if they stay and they don't grow? So in Asia, we make sure that our Allstars get the opportunity to grow. And if you're in department A and maybe 2 years down the road, you say, hey, I want to try doing something else. We always open for opportunities and allow our Allstars to do that. There are a lot of cases like that, just like earlier case of Kugan. And even Irene Omar, our current CEO for Asia Berhad, she was from investor relations. She was a manager there, and she rose up to be a CEO now. It's all in-house. We didn't like bring in someone from the outside. We actually grow our talent. Even Sik Tronte, she's the Group Chief Commercial Officer for AirAsia. She was a marketing manager, and she rose up through the ranks. Yep. Even Kathleen Tan, she's now the president of AirAsia for China. She was brought in by Tony to help out previously as the Group Chief Commercial Officer, and she helped build the company up for up to 9 years. You see a lot of crazy ads back then. And after that, she went over to Expedia as the CEO for 2 years. And then after that, now she's back. So it's a very dynamic company. So be open to that, be open to multitask, and you'll go far in a company like AirAsia. And I believe most tech companies nowadays are like that as well, you know. The world is evolving, ever changing. There's even reports that tech companies in the States now are even hiring those with the skill sets because there's not enough talent out there. Yeah, hope that answers your question. Any other questions? Open the floor. Yes. I believe, if I may share, one of it is we allow you to express yourself, and if you feel you got something good to suggest that will be beneficial to the community of Allstars, then go for it. Example, the recent project that I was part of was esports. I'm not sure if you all know about esports. So back then, one of our pilots, Nas Alyan, he actually messaged Tony and shared with Tony about esports. And another All-Star Silfei, he created a group, workplace group for our workplace channel and about esports. So I'm like, what's all these esports? I used to play Command and Conquer back then, those days, Red Alert. But I didn't know what's esports. And then the pilot, Nas Alyan, told me that it's big. I'm like, what do you mean big? I still don't understand. And it's like, Tony knows about Twitch. I'm like, Tony knows about Twitch. What's Twitch? Then I thought it's twitching the eye, you know. Then when I Googled it, Twitch is a big company. It's bought over by Amazon, close to USD 970 million. So as we deep dive further, we realized that esports is a big industry. And Azure has been involved in QPR, Formula One. So esports is rising with the millennials and Generation Z. So we decided to form a club and brought in all stars from around the region. And we can play among each other FIFA 18, League of Legends, Dota 2. I'm sure some of you play all this. And we got a free role to do things within our All-Stars community. Even Zumba, we actually have instructors. They actually train on weekends. They're trainers on stage. You might see some of them on social media. And they actually work in AirAsia. We also have boot camp. I'm not sure if any of you are health freaks here to go to fitness. In Asia, we also have a gym, so we encourage togetherness, bonding sessions to get to know one another, not just about work. Because imagine if you go to a company, 9 to 6 or 9 to 5 example, and you just go in for work, it's going to be really, really boring because most of our lifetimes are spent at the office. And to be able to engage your other colleagues in a different area or similar interests, it's really a good opportunity to de-stress. Example, I myself, through esports, I got to know a lot of different colleagues, from pilots, cabin crew, the ramp boys, the ground operations, and people you don't see on a daily basis because Asia is an airline. It's not just about office work. You have people flying in the air, on the ground. So through these kind of platforms, I get to meet others. And this is one of the things which I'm grateful for AirAsia, for letting you be yourself. And who knows, maybe one day one of you joins AirAsia and you might be interested in golf, for example, or maybe Muay Thai or kickboxing. You can form a club, or even Taekwondo per se. Yeah, we even have a scuba diving club and a bicycle club in AirAsia, a riders club. Yep. Any questions from... Let's see. Caroline Marie. Dear Allan, what the best advice you could give to someone whose job application is rejected several times? How to get your job application stand out in AirAsia? Okay, next one. Dear Allan, what should we expect if we made it to a job interview? Are there any case studies or hands-on involved as part of the job interview process? Okay, there's a lot there. Let me take it one by one. You just got to keep on trying. Don't give up if your application got rejected, because sometimes for a certain role they might need someone more senior or who might have more experience. But if you try for another role, who knows, the fit might be more suitable. Yeah, so never give up. Keep on trying. Case studies or hands-on involved as part of the interview job process. Yeah, this already explained earlier to Zulfatli, who's on the floor here. Next one. What are the best advice you could give to someone who doesn't have much experience but wants to apply for that job position? Okay, I applied to be a route revenue business analyst, but no working experience in commercial airline or transportation industry. Hey, it's not about always about just about a work experience. It's also about your attitude. So if you didn't get the job yet, don't give up, but still ask around, and who knows, there might be other opportunities in Asia available. We have 22,000 Allstars right now, so yeah, who knows, you might be the next one. So the next question, what are the job opportunities for accounting and finance major in AirAsia? You could be able to join maybe investor relations or finance or accounting department. Even in different departments, there's the different finance required as well, different finance roles. Yep. How would you rate the stress level of Allstars at AirAsia? Stress levels, that's very subjective. It depends. For me myself, I can share. Sometimes it's seasonal. Maybe middle of the month it might get hectic, and towards quarter 3 not so hectic, and maybe quarter 4 very hectic. Like right now, we got multiple projects that I'm actually doing, and end of the year usually a lot of people travel. I'm not sure if y'all go on holidays. Do y'all go on holidays? Yeah. Hope y'all fly Asia. Yeah. So usually how we distress ourselves, it's normal. Yeah. I mean, nowadays in a working environment, you do more than 2 or 3 persons job, stress might come in. It's about how you manage and handle it. So example, if you need to distress yourself, if you like cooking, or like for me esports, yeah, then go for it. Don't get burned out. That's what I learned. Like for me, I've been traveling a lot, been flying in and out of China quite a few times. I just came back from the Great Wall actually, and I realized that after that trip I felt a bit like weak, cause I have to travel to work, drive to and fro. It's like I feel like burnout. So I realized I need to pace myself, and if I need to go on a holiday, okay, one of the benefits of joining AirAsia, your flights are 90% discount. Yeah, big news. Yeah, breaking news. Whole year round. It's we have this thing called the ID90. It's even published on our website at the career section. Yeah, that's the benefit. So there are Allstars who actually go on trips together. So if you got a group of friends, your family, yeah, you can take 90% discount off the price ticket on the retail price. Someone's smiling here already. Yeah, so yeah, I do that sometimes. My next trip is actually I'm planning to go to Vietnam, check out Ho Chi Minh. And okay, Ideal Mat Isa asks, is there any internship availability in AirAsia? How's the screening? Yes, we're actually open for internship. So please submit your resume to us. You can check out our LinkedIn page or even on our career page on our website. Okay. Caroline Marie, is the job opportunity for A&F high in AirAsia? It depends actually. So you need to keep a lookout on the LinkedIn as the job opportunities are posted there on the roles. And next question, what inspired you to be a mentor at FutureLab? One day I hope that when you're old as me, I'm actually like past my 30s, and I realized that back then if I had a chance to hear from someone who was experienced, that would be really helpful in my life, so I don't have to get so many bumps and fall into so many holes. And it's always great when you get to connect with those older than you, maybe 10, 20 years experience. It doesn't matter, because they can share with you on whether to turn left or turn right in your life. And I didn't have that, so I realized that, hey, I need to give back to the next generation, those coming to the workforce. That's why I decided to join this platform, this great platform by FutureLab, and share to those who are especially coming out to the workforce from the unis or colleges. Yeah. Another question, does AirAsia have a newsletter to keep everyone updated about what AirAsia is doing? I promise this is my last question by Caroline Marie. No problem. So yeah, in AirAsia we have this platform called Workplace by Facebook. 22,000 of us know what's happening. messages are always shared across. We encourage our Allstars not to use so much email, cause too much spam in the mailbox perhaps. So the workplace platform is exactly like you're using Facebook, and it helps us engage more efficiently and actively. Yeah. Any questions on the floor? You'd like me to share anything? Insight?
You mentioned that you have 6 different portfolios in 4 years. How is the rotation like? Do you personally request for the particular year?
So the question is on the floor here is, I mentioned earlier I had 6 portfolios to date throughout a span of 4 years, and how is it managed? Meaning that do I request for it, or they put me in it? So it's a two-prong approach, 2 ways. One is you can actually request for it. Example, for me, I'm more of the guy at the front, on ground, hands-on approach, because I was from the events background. I ended up in AirAsia doing back-end stuff, which is not my fit. But I really wanted to go into AirAsia so much. I did the back-end stuff first, which is doing the system stuff, controlling the pricing. And after 6 months, they realized that, hey, it's better for Allan to go maybe more on a marketing role. Yeah, so that was a two-pronged approach. One, also, you got to be proactive. For me, I like to be on social media, so I was very active on social media. Right now too, sharing about AirAsia on my Facebook, on LinkedIn, and they realized that, hey, maybe Allan's more suitable in another role, and also it fits with the job profile. So it can be a two-pronged approach. So example, in AirAsia, if you're doing finance but you love to be doing something else, you never know, maybe throughout the years you might get bored of it per se, or you feel like you're stagnant. There's always internal transfer openings, and we are always give our Allstars first right refusal to go for it. Yeah. So we are open to internal transfers, be it whether you request for it after a certain number of years serving the company, or applying for internal transfer, no problem. Okay, the question on the floor is how does AirAsia manage employee stress, Allstar stress within the company, and how do we go about it? For one, we have okay. The question on the floor is how does AirAsia manage employee stress, Allstar stress within the company?
Something's not right,
and
or you feel stressed,
how do we go about it?
Call.
For one, we have
two is
we're also engaging the insurance.
The
question on the floor is how does AirAsia manage employee stress, Allstar stress within the company?
Something's not right,
and but more to say, we also have a mentoring program in-house, so you can actually talk one-on-one with someone you trust, and the person can actually navigate you along the way in the company. So I think the mentor-mentee program is a very helpful platform for us, because these guys have been in the company for maybe 5 or even 10 years, and they know how it works and what you should do. Like me now, actually, it's end of the year and there's a lot of projects going on, and I'm also feeling, whoa, it's getting intense. So I need to pace myself. So actually a mentor told me that, hey Allan, you got to pace yourself, Like, yeah, I realized that because we're not Superman. So sometimes it takes someone else more senior to share with you. And as I speak to you right now, I realize that, yeah, that was one of the ways for me. If not, you might not realize it, but the other person sees it because you're inside the picture, and someone outside there saying, look, Allan, you need to go for a break. Yeah, example. That helps a lot. Hope that answers your question. Cool. Any questions from the floor or from Facebook?
I do.
Flavor, go for it.
So Allan, I'm going to graduate within another 20 days.
Sorry?
I'm going to be finishing off with my semester, right? So my question is this: what are the requirements to actually apply for AirAsia? Because some of my concerns is that I have working experience. It's just that compared to other people who are, basically when they're finishing up university, certain job requirement requires to have job experience. But then you just finish university. So how does this work about for people who just freshly graduate with zero job experience. Can you apply?
Yes, for sure. In Asia, of course, there are junior positions, senior positions, executive positions, team lead positions. So, of course, when you're just about to graduate and coming out to the job market, you wouldn't be applying for a senior role or too high a role, example. But you should start from the bottom-up approach. Yeah. So if you see a job position available for the head of marketing, example, it's best not to just simply apply for it because it gets filtered out. Because of course they want someone more senior because those people will be in charge of leading another group of people. And coming out to the job market, it's best to apply for jobs based on the job description that you see fit. That would mean going to either executive or if you want to be more adventurous, team lead example. But usually a manager role is someone who is with the job experience usually about 2 to 3 years. Yeah, because you'll be ending up managing a group of people. Yeah. So my advice is to take the more junior positions first and build your way up. Because right now I personally realize as I talk to people in the job market, a lot of, not saying you, yeah, but in general, a lot of people want things fast. Like, okay, I want to rise up, I want to climb up. But they don't realize it takes effort and time. It's a step-by-step progress. You can't just jump around. And actually in the market right now, there are job hoppers, maybe as early as 1 year, and they hop around. So in Azure, we try to filter that because we don't want to be training someone and after 1 year they just leave, which is happening a lot in other industries right now, in other markets. So we try to encourage maybe if you want to work in a company, work at least 2 to 3 years before moving. Next question. Aaron Sama. Hey Allan Phang, what is the thing you are most proud of doing during your time at AirAsia? And what is your favorite memory as an Allstar? Wow, I have so many. Proud moment during my time at AirAsia. I believe it's about every day is a proud moment, to be honest. Every day, for me, when I left the paintball scene after working for 10 years of my life and applied to AirAsia, it's a great brand and I'm super happy to be part of this experience. And every day if you follow my Facebook or LinkedIn, I'll be sharing about AirAsia. So yeah, every day is a proud moment. Yeah, to be honest. And favorite memory as an All-Star, I think it's the team spirit among our All-Stars. Even if you face any dilemma, they'll be there to assist you. Maybe it happens as well in other companies. Like if anyone is in a hospital, you go and visit them. Yeah, and even they take one for the team. If there's any extra projects that you can't handle, then you can pass it on to them. And over in Asia, we don't have this kind of habit like maybe other companies might have. Like, oh, there's nothing to do with me, I'm not going to touch it. So in Asia, even my colleague the other day, she needed help in something and they are traveling to Japan next week. And they were they're handling this project in KL, but now they're going to Japan next week. Then they just pass it over to us. We'll handle it. We never take no for an answer. We don't say, oh, that's not my job, I'm not going to do it. So there's no such kind of character in AirAsia. You just got to go with the flow and, take it up, the challenges and responsibility. There's no such thing as, I didn't start this project, I'm not going to help you end it. So we really work together as a team. Very important. Yep. Okay, Muhammad Farooq. Okay, this is a funny one. Hi Allan, I'm a big fan, wish can meet you. You're next to me on floor. Edwin. Hi Mr. Allan, any condition for Allstar to do internal transfer? Example, you must complete how many years in current department? Usually it's about 2 years. Someone just asked just now. But who knows? Maybe if they really need a position that's vacant there, even maybe 1 year or less, yeah, to do internal transfer. Caroline Marie, will there be a day that there will not be any height requirement for cabin crew someday? Okay, it's because I don't my next generation to be disappointed as their dream. That one we can't control. The like certain requirements they got to follow, so it's not something we can just change as we like. Yeah, the height requirement. I don't know the exact details, but I can get back to you on that. There's certain height requirements lah, for sure. Even for for cabin crew. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything you'd like to ask me? Out of the box question. Yes. You come from sorry? At Hackathon. Okay. Oh wow. Yes. Oh yeah. AirAsia actually organized our first ever hackathon. It's a regional one. It's open globally. We had close to 90 over participants from across the ASEAN region, and we flew them in on AirAsia. It was called the AirAsia Evolution Hackathon, and there were surprisingly, there were a lot of entries from India. Yeah, that's like the Silicon Valley over there, right, in India, and we had to like narrow them down. I think out of about 30 or 40 India entries, we actually had to narrow them down as well, and it was really interesting. The shortlisted teams, they had to complete the task within a certain time frame, and of course they could sleep or choose not to sleep if they wanted. And the best winning application or design was the one that actually tracks you on Instagram. Example, you search something on Langkawi, and then a pop-up will appear to say that, hey, you are flying on Langkawi, you're searching for Langkawi images. Why don't you book a flight now to Langkawi? So that was like, wow, it kind of wowed the judges. We brought in judges from Thailand and other parts of the country who are industry experts in their own field. And yep, we get them free flow of food and drinks throughout the whole time they were there. Yeah. And majority of them are quite experts in hackathon. So since you like hackathon a lot, who knows, maybe there might be a part 2 for AirAsia to do a hackathon and you could join it. Yeah. So all the applicants had to submit their application and their experience. Yeah. We got a few good ideas and we're actually exploring it right now. But we also are still in touch with some of the participants, and some of them are actually professional hackathon experts. They actually, I mean, I've been following them on Facebook, and they actually keep on winning other hackathons even after that. So they're really like, that's their game. They go on to join other hackathons and keep winning. And I believe in this world we are in, it's fully evolving, ever-changing, and Azure doesn't want to be left out. That's why we did it, to search for the best. And also right now we are doing a lot of road shows to bring in robotics like you saw earlier, or even emotive, the EEG technology. And we got even more coming up to our office, because we need to keep up with the pace. Even we are linking up with Alibaba for facial recognition. And even as I enter office each day right now, I actually go in without using the card. Usually you got to use your RFID card and scan on the scanner. Right now I just look, my face looks at the screen. It captures facial recognition and I enter. So that's pretty cool for me. I don't have it at home yet. Yeah. Yeah, we use our own face. Yeah, we're trying beta. We are beta testing it at the moment. Yeah, so it's really cool. I mean, I'm happy to be and glad to be part of a company that is ever keeping up with the pace. You know, we don't want to be left behind. As I say again, we don't want to be a Nokia or Kodak moment per se. And whatever new technology that's out there, we're always in it. Even if I may share again about esports. Yeah, I mean, at first it was quite tough for me and some of our Allstars to share, because like, what's esports? People don't know. But then when I tell them and show them pictures that it's as big as Manchester United versus QPR in a big stadium, but filled with a lot of demographics that travel on our flights, the millennials and Generation Z, then you realize, wow, okay. And the best part, if I may add, Tony Fernandez and Dato Kamarudin, they know what's esports. I was surprised. I went to Dato Kamarudin, like, do you know what's esports? He's like, yeah, I know about Steam and Dota. Like, whoa, I looking with open eyes. How do they know, right? But that's why in Asia we're always keeping track of technology, and usually whatever you see in the Europe or the States, we also want to be part of it. That's why our co-founders are always traveling to bring back the latest technology and keeping in touch. We're always meeting up with people like Facebook as well, yeah, and Google, Microsoft, yeah, and even Alibaba in China, yeah. And recently we also acquired a company called Touristly. It's an online travel platform. So, you know, back in those days, you want to book a travel plan, you go through a travel agent. Right now, everything's all online, done digitally. So AirAsia acquired this company for over 2 million USD. And I was part of that project to do the execution for it and integration with AirAsia's platforms. Yeah, so we're always on the lookout for the latest tech or latest startups, and yeah, who knows, maybe we might acquire the next one in maybe virtual reality, perhaps. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone? Let's see. Oh, we got a question here. Oh, okay. There's one of our Allstars sharing about the height requirements. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we're always opening up new offices, new routes. So who knows, if any of you here want to join AirAsia, please feel free to submit your resume and we share with our HR. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, the question was on the floor, what does Azure plan to do with esports? In fact, we just created our own Allstars esports club, whereby it's open to our Allstars. And what we do is we do a two-prong approach. Internally, we have tournaments for Dota 2, FIFA 18. Externally, we actually have this jersey that we wear. It has our logo on there. And also our sister companies, and we create awareness by joining external tournaments like the recent Selangor Cyber Games. We were part of it, and people were actually surprised. The Flavor, who's here right now, he was there, and they were actually shocked. Oh, they're just coming to esports, and some even thought we are professional players. We are not. We just All-Star by day and esports by night. So they are actually gamers in AirAsia, surprisingly. And there's about 60 over FIFA 18 players right now, just in KL. We have over 70 Dota 2 players. That's about close to 7-8 teams. And even League of Legends, we have 2 teams. Even Mobile Legends, Arena of Valor, mobile games. Yeah, some are even playing during lunchtime. It's like, we don't be left out. So we plan to explore further in esports next year. I can't reveal anything yet, but look out for us in 2018 for esports. It's going to be really exciting, and I'm happy to be, part of this initiative. And there's other initiatives, not just esports. Yeah, you'll see in 2018. Really interesting, and even for AirAsia, we're not just right now. I'm in Malaysia right now. We are regional, so look out for us regionally in everything we do. Like the hackathon, it was a regional thing, regional initiative. Even for esports, it's going to be regional as well. So exciting times ahead, and hope Azure can also contribute back to the ecosystem to support the community. Yeah. Let's see if there's any questions on Facebook. Yeah. Will Azure consider opening new routes to Europe countries someday? Well, yeah, that's one of the most favorite questions everyone keep asking, whether we open back to London or Paris. Well, we did last time, but we will most likely continue in future. Like what Tony always said, we are always exploring. even in US, no one in their right mind thought that Asia can fly to the US. And we did it to Hawaii this year, yeah, Honolulu. And for 16 years, Asia has been around. And for me, I've joined for 4 years. Never in my mind would I think that Asia will fly to US, but we did it. And who knows, maybe one day we will end up flying to as far as LA, Los Angeles, or even maybe New York. You never know. That's why in Asia, one of the things I love is the never take no for an answer spirit, always willing to explore. And even when we first started, it took us 7 years before we could fly to Singapore to have the rights to fly there. But we never stop fighting and going after what we want to do. Yeah, even in China right now, and even in India, it took us a long time. Even in Japan, it took us more than 1 year to actually start flying. But we never gave up and pursue our dreams. So it's really an eye-opener. India, as you know, is a tough country. It's a monopoly there. And the local airlines there were against us, if you read the news. But Tony and Dato Din and the rest of the Allstars keep on pressing. Yeah, I was actually doing an orientation for a group of Japanese Allstars. This was before Japan launched, and I told them the same thing. Allstars from Japan one day, I'm sure you guys will start flying. Just wait for it. And right on, close to 1 month later, they're now already flying. So never say no in AirAsia. Nothing is impossible. There are even people asking us to fly other parts of the world, like, oh, okay, one by one. Yeah, I can't wait for China though. China's going to be interesting based on the population there, yeah? Oh. Okay, Jeremy. Hi, watching from Melbourne. What's Asia's strategy for the next 5 years? Nice. How do I answer that? How do I answer that without getting into trouble? Of course, we are moving towards digital airline. What that means is that it's some sort of like reverse engineering. If you read the news recently, e-commerce companies like Amazon, they're actually buying up planes. Amazon is buying planes to deliver their e-commerce goods. In AirAsia, we have over 200 planes, and we have up to 600 in order from Airbus. We are the world's largest customer for Airbus. And what that means is that with all the connections we have, all the routes, tier 1, tier 2, and even tier 3 cities, we're going to reverse engineer and build up the e-commerce platform that supports those networks. We have the widest network in this region, in ASEAN, and with that, there are already a lot of people using our services for our cargo space. You know, you got about 180 passengers on the A320 aircraft at the top, but when you're inside the aircraft, what's below you? Those are cargo space. And that's where Azure is going to capitalize on it to leverage on our network. We already have the planes, so we just need to do some reverse engineering. And right now, we are also heavily pushing on bigdutyfree.com. You can buy and purchase items online and get it when you arrive. Yeah, when you arrive out of your plane. So it's really an interesting concept. And when I read reports that Amazon is buying planes, and even Tony talked about it, I realized that, wow, we already have 200 planes. You know, we just need to improvise and tweak a bit, and we are there. Yeah. It's going to be interesting the next 5 years for AirAsia as we move towards a digital airline. Many people think that AirAsia is just an airline. No, we're not. We're more than that. So that's why even by next year, you'll see a lot of digital initiatives being pushed. And who knows, even maybe more job positions or functions in the IT role or even tech role. In AirAsia, at one time, even Tony did a tweet on his LinkedIn as well, posting about looking for AI specialists, AI experts, artificial intelligence. So we are exploring big on AI, machine learning, a lot of data. As Tony mentioned in the news, data is the new oil for us. Yeah. So we want to know exactly what the passenger likes and his favorite food, example, so we can prompt them and make their life more enjoyable and seamless journey. Even in Terminal 4 in Singapore, Changi Airport, Tony was so impressed about the seamless check-in process. There's no more humans at the counter. They just drop off their bag, and there it goes. And you don't have to talk to the immigration officer. You just put the passport, scan it, and you're off. So Airasia is also looking at that. That's why we are currently doing beta testing in the office. So I'm also testing my face against the screen there. So it's really interesting going to all this digital stuff. And we're always open to hire more talents in the digital world. So if you're hearing right now and you're from the tech or digital scene, yeah, look out for Airasia. Yes, Zulfan. Right. Yeah, that's a good question. Question from the floor. What's Airasia stance on cryptocurrency or even cashless? In fact, we're going to launch this platform called Big Pay, yeah, whereby even mentioned in the news by Tony himself that we want to eliminate cash transactions, and you just use the app, Big Pay, and you can purchase your big duty-free items or even your food and meals on board. Yeah, it's going to be rolled out soon, I believe. Yeah, and yeah, and who knows, you might even link up to Airasia big loyalty points one day. Yeah, so it's yeah, we have Rocky Wi-Fi, so we can connect to it. So it's going to be really interesting putting our ecosystem together, even with Tune Protect, our insurance platform. It's another question. Hi, Mr. Allan. Thank you for keeping your Facebook followers updated about the latest news on Airasia. Okay. Yeah, you also can follow us on Airasia's Twitter as well as Airasia's Facebook. Also, for those in the working world, please follow our LinkedIn page as well. Yeah. Any other questions you'd like to know about Airasia? All good? Okay. Cool. So thank you everyone for watching in. If there's any questions, please feel free to connect with me on FutureLab's platform. You can go to their website. I'm one of the mentors there, and we also have another mentor, Benjamin Rinja from branding. He's also on that platform. Yeah. So thanks for watching in, and for the rest on the floor here, thanks for coming here today. Thank you. And is it still live?